Hi there. Good morning. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine, and I'm just going to start 30 minutes of my day. It's going to be something a little different today because I have a bit of work to do. And of course, now I have to find what it is. I have a few things set out because I want to talk about to press or not to press. That is the question. We're actually going to talk about pressing your folded papers for signatures and the advantages to it and different ways of doing it. So hold on, because I have one more thing I have to go get. I'm just going to pause for a second. Okay. Alrighty. So I actually have several books on the go right now. Believe it or not. I left again. Hold on. I have a whole bunch of books that I'm working on. I think I have six. That I'm working on right now. So, and I'm at various stages with them. And it means that I actually have several of them that have pressed paper ready. And I thought, you know what? I actually have them pressing in different ways because I only have one book press with screws in it. So anyhow, let me get it out of the way. I'm working on the Peterkin papers. It's a little one. I was looking on my shelves and I have a whole bunch of little books, and I sort of thought, should I just redonate those? And I've actually decided I'm going to make a few nearly naked journals. Just little quick journals. Like, it's not very big. And I'm just going to use whatever illustrations were in the book, and they'll be good to go. So the Peterkin papers I'm working on this cute book called I Know a Story. I actually expanded this spine. It was the kind of spine like the Beatrix Potter little books, where you could bust it open and then put in a wider piece of board in the spine. And I really doubled the size of it. And then Harriet the Spy. I loved Harriet the Spy when I was a young girl. I loved this book. So, and this one's kind of cool because it was a library book and it still had the card and pocket in the back. So I'll be putting that back into it. Anyhow, so I was working on those, but I don't have the papers ready for these yet. I also finally got started on my, this is a journal for me. This book, I've been wanting a Robin journal for eons. And so I've got, I put a new rounded spine on it because this little book was maybe about a ½ inch thick. And now, oh, isn't that pretty? I just love it. I know I'm far away today because I'm actually going to be bringing some big things in. So let me bring that up closer so you can see how pretty that looks. That's William Morris fabric. Isn't that pretty? Turned really cute. So this one's going to be for me. A new smaller journal for me to work on. I think I'm going to make this the kind of journal that I can put removable signatures in so that I can just keep pulling them in and out. All right, so I'll introduce the other ones because I'm actually at various stages of having the papers pressed. So I guess I should just talk about my evolution of pressing papers. For example, here is one book that I'm working on, The Wind in the Willows. I keep standing up so I can see it. The Wind in the Willows. Isn't that pretty? And I've got the inside all restored. And I have some papers folded. It's not quite done yet because I like to be able to, whenever I can, you know me, I like to be able to put some of the original pages back in. And this book has so many cute little black and white illustrations in it. So I will definitely be putting at least one spread in each signature. So that leads me to why press your papers. So when you look at this, this is 4 sheets, 4 spreads folded. So that's 16 pages each, because I count it like this would be page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, so on. So if there's 4 spreads in it, that means that there's 8 on one side, 8 on the other side, 16 spreads. So normally you would look at all these and you would think, oh, that's probably it. That's probably as much as it can take. Look at it. It's already, those ends are already making a tiny little bit of an alligator mouth there. But you will be amazed at the difference that you can make with your papers, not only as far as fitting more papers in, but getting a nicer finished profile in your books when you press your papers. You're going to be amazed. So when I first started pressing my papers, I noticed how nice the finished result when I was watching Sea Lemon. I'll put a link to her channel down below. She makes, I wish I knew her real name. I just call her Sea Lemon because her channel is Sea Lemon, and I'm quite sure her name isn't Sea Lemon. And I know I knew it at one time. It doesn't matter. She's wonderful. She's an amazing bookbinder. She creates really great books. She does some really awesome Coptic stitching. Those raw books where you stitch down, where you put beautiful stitching down the sides. So you'd have cardboard on either side, and then the exposed signature folds with the beautiful spines. She's very, very talented. Anyhow, she had a video on making your own book press. So at first, I just started sort of mimicking because I thought, well, So she really, really strongly believes in pressing your papers and the advantages of pressing your papers. So what I started at first doing was simply getting my papers ready at night, and I'd just leave them right here on my desk, and I would put just a heavy book on top. And then if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I work a lot with rocks. They're just a handy heavy weight to throw on things. If you've made something out of glue, or out of paper with a PVA type glue, a craft glue that has a lot of water in it, and you just walk away from it and let it dry, you can come back and you've got a wavy finished product. So what I would do quite often is, if I was making, say, a tag or anything, I would put my rock, put it under a book, and put my rocks on top, go to bed. I just gather up what needs pressing in the evening when I'm going to turn my lights out in my studio here, and put everything that needed to go under the rock, under the rock. Well, then Sea Lemon taught this amazing tutorial on how to make your own book press, because she uses her book press all the time. And I thought, it's time for me to make a book press. She insisted it was easy, and she was right. It's very easy, but you do need a drill. So I sort of jumped ahead in how I press my papers. So I actually can put these into this book press now. This is my Sea Lemon book press. It is $2 store cutting boards. And then it's some washers, some great big screws, another washers on this side, and what are these? Are they called butterfly nuts? Or I don't know. Anyhow, the link will be down below, and she has the normal names. Anyhow, so that's when I started. I made it. You've got to be able to drill holes in the same spot on your 2 cutting boards, and then you just, these are at Home Depot. These screws, all this hardware gear, it's Home Depot for, honestly, maybe $2. The cutting boards cost more than the metal gear cost. And I actually even did my own drilling. I was very proud of myself. I'm not a handy woman, let me tell you. I'm artistic, but I am not handy when it comes to household repair type things. So then what you do is you slide your papers into your book press. And again, I always do this at night before I'm going to go to bed. And then just tighten up these screws on your book press as tight as you can. And it just gives you a nice even pressure from all sides. Get them down as tight as you can get them to go. Sometimes this is tricky for me with, I have arthritis in my hands, but today's not a bad day. And I'm surprised because it's supposed to rain today. There we go. So my papers are in there. And I mean, now that they're in there, I'll just leave them in there. I've got plenty of work I can do on other books to get back to that. But I chose, when I made my Sea Lemon book press, I hindered myself because it's not very big. I got small cutting boards. So it's about 13 inches by 9¼ inches. And then when you consider where these screws are, my space is actually smaller. I have about 9½ inches by 9 inches to fit papers in. So that posed a problem for me because I've started doing bigger books. For example, the book I just finished last week, the World Book Volume 2. Those papers would not fit inside my Sea Lemon press. So what I did was I actually came up with another idea, and I have found it works equally well. So for those of you who maybe you don't have a drill, you don't want to drill, you just want to be able to press your papers, and you want to get a really nice finished press, another thing I've done is I've started using these hardware clamps. I got these as well at Home Hardware, and using them with cutting boards. And for my bigger jobs, I even have bigger clamps. And you know what? These aren't expensive either. I think these were $4 each, and these were less. I think these were $2 each. They weren't much at all. So when I have multiple books that I need pressing, you can certainly put lots of papers in, but just so that I can keep track of things, I have several kinds of presses. And that's when I got these cutting boards, again from Dollar Store, the Dollar Tree. No, I got these ones from Dollarama. I'm in Canada, so I don't know if Dollarama exists in the US. I know you guys have Dollar Tree. I don't know if you have Dollarama. I got these ones at Dollarama, and I can put my papers into here. And then these clamps, they're pretty hard. I find I actually have to lean right on them and just clamp it. And then I lift this up, I lean on it, clamp it, and I can press really big papers in this one, which is fabulous. Actually, there's nothing in there right now, so I'm going to take these off because I'll get my hopes up and think, oh, did I get ahead of the job here? Maybe I pressed those papers and I forgot, which I could do. Now, another thing that you can do is, I was in a great big hurry yesterday because it was happy hour and I deserved my martini because our little dog's been sick again. She's really, really having a hard time getting over this pancreatitis. Anyhow, so I just stacked up my papers. I didn't even want to take the time to put them between my boards with my clamps. And I simply used my garden bricks. These are just standard bricks, and you can buy a brick at any garden center. They're less than $1 each. And then you just wrap them I've wrapped these in some of that Art Nouveau wrapping paper and then used packing tape over top of them. I got this idea from Save Your Books, Sophia at Save Your Books, and she's a wellspring of information as well. She uses her bricks all the time, and I now use these bricks more often than I use my rocks, but I still use my rocks. They're still all, fortunately I have a massive desk here, it's huge. So I basically, you stay there. So I basically got all my papers pressed. Look at, they're just gorgeous, to go into Stuart Little. I'm going to be doing Stuart Little. And so I've got all Stuart's pages ready, and they look lovely. This was an alligator. It was like this yesterday, before I simply just put my papers under a couple of bricks and flattened them out, and that gives you much more room to do the fun stuff with. So let's hold on here and I'll show you. These are the papers for A Country Banker, which is my next big journal that I'm going to be working on. I think 9 signatures. So I just put them inside these 2 little cutting boards, and look how nice they come out. Just so flat and compact. Let me find my cover. And often what it means is, once you do your first pressing, you can get an idea of if you've got more room for more paper. Like, for example, that is, how many? No, you know what? This is for a different book. Is this? No, this is for, oh, I haven't trimmed it. I haven't trimmed it this way yet. I'm wondering, why are these cut the wrong lengths? But it's because I haven't trimmed it that way yet. So as you can see here, I've actually got, I'm going to stand up. I got lots and lots more room here now. I could put, if I'm planning on this journal being more of a writing journal, I can add way more paper than what I originally thought I would put in. Right now, there's 5 pages folded into each signature here right now, with 7 signatures. So 5, 10, 20. So there's 140 pages right here, and that means I can go bigger. I can put more in, and that's going to be really, really nice. That gives me, now, what I would also do, let me move that up there. What I could also do is leave it at this number of pages if I were planning to put a lot of journaling tags and flip ups and flip outs and envelopes and all that kind of fun stuff. If that was the kind of journal I was anticipating, then this might be a good place to say, no, I've got enough pages. That's going to be good. See the pinch down there? So you've got a nice triangle shape here. And that would be a good place to stop if you're planning on lots of ephemera. And if you're not planning lots of ephemera, then you've got way more room for way more pages if you feel like it. And with this one, although it's not going to be lacy and fluffy, I still want it to have some fun things in it. So we'll see. I got to wait and see how it makes me feel. But I've got this all sealed now. So you'll notice it's got a bit of texture to it. I actually did a layer of Mod Podge on it because I wanted it to look a bit more like leather. And I find when you do circling technique with a paintbrush like this with Mod Podge and let it dry, it can give kind of a leather look to book covers. And then you still need to seal it because Mod Podge, it says right on the label. A lot of people are going, oh, it's tacky, it's tacky. It actually tells you this on the label. And I learned that from, from another really good artist. Now, she doesn't make books, but she's a very talented artist. And she did a whole video on the differences between Mod Podge sealant, Mod Podge glue type sealant, and what is it? Hold on, I'm looking for it. Liquitex, this, which is medium. And it's a completely different thing. And I wondered why I didn't like this to seal. It's not a sealant. It has sealing properties, but it's not a finishing sealant. And that's why when I started trying to use that, and I thought, I don't like this. It feels gritty. Well, it is gritty. It's actually meant to be mixed with paints, and that in a similar way that gesso is. It's got plaster in it so that you could get a big bit of grip. But it's not something that you want your finished result with. So go ahead and use your Mod Podge if you like Mod Podge, which I actually do. I think Mod Podge gets a bum rap. And then seal it with an aerosol sealant. So there it is. That's it. To press or not to press, I definitely say press. If you're not convinced, then don't invest any money. Just go out to a park or wherever you can, find some rocks, grab a cutting board or a book, and put your papers under leave it overnight. You'll get even better results. If you can walk away from them for a few days, you'll really get beautifully pressed compact papers. And if you decide you like it, which I bet you will, then you may want to go ahead and make yourself a book press. If you think there is a possibility that you're going to be making bigger books, dimension-wise, this measurement-wise, then don't do what I did. Make sure you, right off the bat, get yourself bigger cutting boards. This would have fit. But that said, these cutting boards with even these clamps work with it, or these clamps work with it, and I get the same result. So you don't have to drill. You can just use your clamps. These things are they're something else, eh? And you'll still get beautifully pressed papers. I got a ribbon in there. Hey, what are you doing in there? Wow, well, such is the life of a junk journaler. You find little bows here and there. So, give it a try. Try and press your papers. If you don't have rocks, I'm sure you might have bricks around your house somewhere. You know, put a big old book on top of your papers. Put your bricks on top and go to bed. And get up in the morning, and honestly, you'll grab your papers and you'll just, if you're like me, you'll just want to keep patting them. Oh, they're so pretty. Yeah, I'm gonna need help soon. Anyhow, you know what? I need some coffee or some tea. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you will have a great day, that you're safe and that you're healthy, and that you're continuing to take precautions to stay safe and healthy, and protecting the ones you love and protecting your neighbors by putting on a mask. We'll talk soon. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.